Hello and welcome back to Well, a Wonderful World. On the last episode, we ran into a few dead ends with Alicia and the two officers, Chang Geong-min and Kang Bakya. As you can see, nothing but dead ends, even in this side timeline. But yeah, so as a result, we were with Lai Wen, who has provided us with a few endings. Well, not endings, but we've gotten further with them. So yeah, we have Post still, and it's time to find out, where it goes. Life is like a box of chocolate milk. More Lai Wen. Let's see where you lead us to. As soon as I walked into school that morning, I knew something was wrong. Everyone I knew and didn't know was looking at me with a strange look, and they were talking about something in a hushed voice. That was the girl. Wasn't the new teacher here? He was pretty old, wasn't he? Honestly, I wouldn't say no to a teacher as handsome as him. Okay then, so obviously, rumors are that she's sleeping with a teacher, I'm gonna guess, because yeah, based off the third line right here. But living together? Oh no, that's too far. But they're neighbors though. Living together? What on earth are they talking about? Jing was standing at the door of the classroom. She rushed towards me and dragged me into the restroom as soon as she saw me. She pulled out her phone and showed it to me. At the top post, it was the top post in the school BBS forum. Senior student Lai Wen from class 1 living together with a hot new art teacher. There was also a few photos of me and Mr. Wen clearly taken from a distance in secret. So it's Jimmy. This is Jimmy's doing. Okay, Jimmy. All of them were from the evening of the exhibition. There were pictures of us at the entrance, in the cafe, and even one of us going into our building. Dear God. What the hell was all these? What did you do? Did you annoy someone? Why would someone stalk you and take pictures of you, and then make them public? What's going on? I read the post carefully. Carefully read the post again. It was posted by the newly registered account. No other information at all. Jimmy. The poster clearly wanted to remain anonymous. I thought about it as hard as I could for a long time, and yet I still had no clue. I honestly couldn't think of anyone who would be so mad at me to do this. How else would I ever explain this whole thing? I ran to the third floor of the office building, hoping to explain myself to Miss Yang. Just as I was about to step in the hallway, two tall boys stopped me, smirking. Miss Lai, we hear that you have been living together with the new art teacher. He isn't even that handsome, is he? What do you think about us, Miss Lai? Would you like to give us a shot? This is just okay. This is getting to the point of face palming. I was thinking about how to get rid of these two losers when I saw Mr. Wen come out from one of the offices and pass nearby. He obviously had obviously noticed me, but he pretended that he didn't, or he hadn't. I'm assuming he got fired or has got told off, and that's why he's pretending not to notice us. All my strength had suddenly left my body. This was a loss. I was at a loss. I didn't want to stay in school for one moment more. I ran back to the classroom, grabbed my backpack and ran away from the school in plain sight of everyone. There was a 7-Eleven on my way home. My stomach started rumbling when I arrived at the store entrance. I walked in, bought a box of chocolate milk, and I ended up giving them the wrong bill. Then I left the store. I walked into the small alley that led to my building. I left. I felt like a sudden spell of dizziness and I blacked out. I fell to the ground. My wallet fell out. The milk box opened and glugging down the throat. In a haze, a dark and thick hand picked up my wallet and threw the empty milk box in a nearby trash can. He carried me on his shoulders and kept walking deeper into the alley. My eyes began to slowly close shut. I felt as if I couldn't open them anymore. Oh no, I'm being taken away by a bad man. I'm screwed. When I opened them again, I found myself locked inside a strange room without a window. My school uniform, shirt, and underwear were scattered on the floor. Everything was dirty and ruined, including me. Pain was coming from all over my body, reminding me that this wasn't the first time I had woken up. The door screeched open. A man wearing beach shorts and a tank top walked in. I recognized him. It's the person he hit with the tennis racket. The tennis racket, right? Finally realized that for some people in this world, there's nothing beneath them. Robbery, kidnapping, even. I tried to back away from him, but my legs were tied to the table. I couldn't move, not even 1 inch. I could only shut my eyes, hoping that I could wish myself into passing out again. I hope somebody had noticed me when I was taken. If only I had some clues. Somebody help me. Lywen. Well, this is certainly a dark one for Lemon. Before you even fall into the alley. There we go. We'll go like this. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself lying in a hospital bed. Hooray! The doctor said I'd fallen down the stairs at the door of the 7-Eleven, and I broke my right arm. That's worth it, considering the alternative. And I needed a rest for a few days at home. Why did bad things keep happening to me? Well, it's not just happening to you, so you can't really just say that. The smell of the detergent in the hospital made me feel sick. I didn't want to stay for 1 more second. Fortunately, I just happened to have enough money in my wallet to pay the bill, and I left in a hurry. That's an A, so it's not the exact correct one. Stay inside. What if you stay inside the If you stay inside the hospital, hopefully that's a bad one. In the haze, I saw the dark, thick hand pick up my wallet. He carried me onto his shoulders and back alleyway. Oh no, I'm being taken away by a bad man. I'm screwed. I tried my best to focus on my remaining strength and squeeze the milk box I had in my hand. The milk drops left a trail on the ground. Soon the box is emptied out and there was nothing left. My eyes began to slowly close shut, and I felt like I couldn't open them anymore. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself locked inside a strange room without any windows. My school uniform, shirt, and underwear had scattered on the floor. Everything was dirty and ruined, including me. Pain was all over my body, reminding me that it wasn't the first time I'd woken up. The door screeched open, and the man wearing beach shorts and a tank top walked in. I recognized him. Finally realized that some people in this world, nothing's beneath them. I tried to back away, but you tied down. Somebody please help me. Bad ending. Okay. Bad end. Hold on, history. Right, okay, so there's several to go to achieve. Bad end. these everywhere. Which ones have we not? Because they did say sometimes that you have to go back to change certain ones. Because they need a gun. Maybe we need to work on these for a bit. They can't be swapped. It's bad no matter what. Toy gun, custodian's desk. The foam. So this is quite confusing what we need to do. So unless it's the fact that we don't have stars on some of them. Yes, 2 endings that we haven't got there. 2 endings we haven't got there. 2 endings. All the endings. No endings here. Let's try this again, right? Hold on. So, these 2 are the only 2 that can be swapped, right? Oh no, this can go over here. Which is still bad. But it has to be 3. What are the collections that we have? Dictionary. This is quite a bit. Album. I'm just looking around really. All the ones that we haven't looked at. Interesting. They're all pretty interesting. I have no idea. Anyway. What do we think? What do we... Because these are, for example, Alicia's is doomed to be wrong, regardless. So, what do we... Maybe we go back and then we'll try and sort out some of the endings that we don't have. It's a failed ending of some kind. Nope, didn't mean that. Start. So yeah. B. Oop. B. B. Bad ending. Oh, okay, there we go. Jing was sobbing and I was completely in shock too. Not only did Mr. Wen tear up her sketch, he even said to her, "Are you serious? Did you seriously just draw something like that? I will not tolerate this kind of thing in my classroom." Seeing Jing crying like that, I couldn't control my anger. "Mr. Wen, you're way out of line. You need to apologize to Jing." Mr. Wen gave me a glance and picked up my sketch. Rocky stood up from his seat. "Hey, didn't you hear her? You need to apologize." Mr. Wen wasn't paying attention, so Rocky jumped in front of him and punched Mr. Wen right in the face. Mr. Wen, however, didn't react, despite being hit by a student. He simply gave Rocky a glance, put down my sketch, and walked out of the classroom without saying a word. Rocky, who was always so self-righteous. The only thing more important in his life must be his ball games. I bet if the bell had rang in the class would have been over, he wouldn't have bothered. And would have gone off to play basketball. Since then, Mr. Wen never came back to the class. Maybe someone filed a complaint about him, or maybe I always had a feeling that he didn't look like he wanted to be a teacher. The next art teacher always seemed dressed impeccably well, but he was also incredibly dull. That's the one ending we didn't have. Okay. A piece of rope. S. Right. I think it has to be from these two, right? Doesn't it? It has to be, because they're the only two that we don't have. But that can't change. Right, anyway, let's try Park, because if Parks is any different, maybe. Right. Okay. 5 minutes later. It immediately changes. Okay. I must stop Dad. I climbed onto the table and smashed the vodka bottle onto his head. He suddenly stopped and fell to the ground on his back. Something dark and red was coming out from Dad's head on the floor. I carefully climbed off the table and ran into her arms, just like I always had. Every time Dad lost his temper, we would huddle together like this. It was the only way we could make ourselves feel better. But this time, Mom seemed to have fallen asleep. I tried to shake her awake. I tried as hard as I could. I shouted as loud as I could. She would not wake up. I cried. Right, okay, so two more for Park. I heard the sound of rope snapping. I turned around and saw the girl shaking off the ropes. Mr. Kwan would kill me if I let her get away. I grabbed her arm, and she was trying to get up from the chair. You can't. Before I could finish, she kicked me in the crotch. Ouch, that's unfortunate for you, call it. I felt a boom in my head. She was so tough, even tougher than my sister. She knocked me out in the first few hits. Then she tied me to the chair like a zongzi. Yes, zongzi is one of my favorite Chinese desserts. She spent a long time tying me up. When she opened the door, she happened to bump into Mr. Kwan, who had just come back. Mr. Kwan looked over her head and saw a tied-up zongzi. Bondage player. You couldn't even handle a girl. You useless person. As a reward, Mr. Kwan gave me a punch to the face. I could see so many Mexican flags flying around my head. I wasn't aware that, Okay. Anyway, let's retry. I raised the bottle. Nope. Okay. I just sat down. I just sat down when Mr. Kwan came back. He looked inside the room with a grim expression over his face. This is how you watch someone? I quickly turned around. Oh my lord. Earlier, the girl had seemed to have been having a seizure. Her entire body was shaking and she kept hitting the wall with her head. I was afraid that she would hurt herself, so I just threw the rope on her. But I didn't realize that the rope had become tighter and tighter, and she was struggling, and that she almost couldn't breathe. Thank God Mr. Kwan had come back early and noticed that. Otherwise, I would have made an unforgivable mistake. Ren tossed a knife over to me and looked away. I had not been in the group for long, but I knew the rules. If I wanted to stay, I had to do this. I bit my lip and cut off my left pinky finger. Half of the bloody finger dropped to the floor, and blood was still gushing out. It hurt like hell, but I was a man. I didn't make a sound. Who on earth was that girl? If only I'd been more careful. Again. So 4 versus 4. Okay, and try this. There we go. The girl seemed to be having a seizure. Her entire body was shaking and kept hitting her head on the wall. Mr. Kwan would kill me if she hurt herself too much. I tried adjusting the rope on her head. I tried just adjusting the rope on her, hoping to pin her head on the back of the chair. But she immediately started struggling against all my... the rope snapped. I grabbed her arm and she was trying to get away from the chair. You can't. Before I could finish the sentence, she kicked my crotch again. Okay, then boom, my head. She was so tough, even tougher than my sister. She knocked me out in a few hits, and she tied me to the chair like Song Z. Yep. I'm gonna open it. Problem solved. So same. At least we only got punched in this ending. So 2 A's and a B. So 1 more for Carlos, and then that should be another S thing. Nope. Okay, there we go. Found it. Mr. Kwan came back. He looked inside the room, a grim expression on his face. You're dead now, Carlos. I turned around quickly, oh my lord. Earlier, the girl had seemed to be having a seizure, hitting her head on the wall. So I just threw over on her. But I didn't realize the rope had become tighter and tighter. Struggling, couldn't breathe now. She's dead. Oh lord, what have I done? I dropped on my knees and I couldn't stop shaking. A bullet flew out of Mr. Kwan's gun. It was flying towards me and I could see it getting closer and closer. Well, that's all of your endings, Carlos. Bad. Or it's A still. It's still S. Still S. So I'm assuming I just remove A. A. Five minutes later. Bad ending. Hold on, I get. Alright, okay, so. There we go, that's another one. Mom's face turned red first, then blue. The rope in my hands were. The rope in my hands was choking her tighter and tighter. I could see the old bruises over Mom's body. I couldn't stand this anymore. I couldn't stand to watch Mom suffer like this anymore. I was screaming at the top of my lungs, but my brain was completely empty. I didn't know what I was doing. I wanted to scream my heart out. Dad's face changed into a shocked expression. He stumbled back. Then he stepped on the bottle on the floor and fell over backwards. Finally, Mom stopped struggling. She fell into my arms with a smile on her face. She was so still. I dropped my hands, helped Mom close her eyes and wipe the tears off her face. Mom was so happy. I heard the door open behind me. I turned around, Dad had run out. I didn't know where I was going. So, in this one, Park killed, and, okay, that's interesting. We just need one more. What do we... Either a B or it's another A. There we go, found it. Mom's face turning red and then blue. The rope in my hands was choking it tighter and tighter. I could see the bruises in my... yep. Couldn't stand it anymore. So why is Park killing his mother in this one? Dad's face changed from... Okay. Doorbell rang. I came back to my senses, dropped my hands. Mom was gasping for air. She looked at me with a look I had never seen before. Well, what had I just done? Why am I here? Who am I? I let out a scream and ran out the door. I could never come back to the house again. B, okay. And there's no new posts. No new messages. So I must really have to solve. Maybe if I get this one extra. Oh, there's a second S ending. So that's probably what it is. If I get the other S ending, maybe I'll get the other one for Alicia. That's the start. Bad. 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 Okay. And these can't be swapped. Well, they can't go over to Lai Wen's ending. So, what if still a bad end, but B. Still a B. S. Still an S. Oh, okay. I see. I wiggled my left hand free. I wiggled my left hand out of loosened rope and reached for the kit. I grabbed the ball closer to my left hand, the poison. It was also almost the size of my palm. I needed to hide it somewhere. I saw the slipper that I dropped yesterday when I was having a seizure. It was close enough for me for it to reach. The doctor came back from his phone call. I was still laying on the bed and all spread out and with my eyes closed, mumbling quietly to myself. Just as he left me. He felt my forehead with his hand, fiddled with the IV a bit, closed his kit and left. I closed my eyes when I heard the door close. I opened my eyes when I heard the door close. The bottle of poison was safely hidden inside the slipper. I know that as long as I do my best, my dream will come true. There we go. Hooray. Oh, why is this stalked out? Is it because it's no longer the timeline?
Lo siento.
One-armed man and Fury of the Cat. I think with that, we'll call it there. So thank you for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoyed me clearing up a bit of the other timelines. So with that, yeah. Thanks for stopping by, and hopefully I can see you in the next one. With that, goodbye.